Well, time's come for me to have a go at the Russell Powerboats lake here. I've done the pike fishing here, that's all I've done. I haven't even fished properly yet, just gone lure fishing. I'm going to be putting some chuff waders on, just going out. Lee told me you can get out a bit and try for baiting up for tench. It's looking good at the moment, the temperatures are coming up. I'm around this tree basically because it's windy at the moment, but it does look good. I haven't seen any fish move though when I've been here before, but as I say, I have just been lure fishing. But a lovely setting, as you can see. Nice and damp here, it's quite a damp area. I figure this is it's near to where they launch their jet skis and that, but they don't really use this lake apparently. Very, very clear. I don't think it's going to be deep. I'm basically just going to probably fish from here, bait up out there. But I'm just going out to clear a bit of a section first. I might try one to the right, one here, one there, you know, just to space it out a little bit. So let's get the chest waders on and get in the water. And what I've got here, not the neoprene ones. The problem with these neoprene ones, you get them on, they're a nightmare to get off. And also you can put it in this. That's right, the SH, you know what, duck special. I've got my garden rake. God, I haven't done this for years. Used to do it all the time. We used to use a double back garden rake, you know, so both prongs both ways, trying to drag a hole in the weed clear. Bit of the old duct tape there, my roof rack rope there, and I'm going to go out there with a head cam, throw out and see what the bottom's like. I can see here, well, I know it's gravel, it's a gravel working, but it's gravel based. I'll give it a go out there. Probably won't need to go too far before it drops off, and be very careful with it. That's the other reason I use the rake, is because it also acts as like a wading staff. So I've mentioned before, always put a little sliding loop on there and put it around your wrist, because it's very easy. And yes, I speak from experience, I have thrown the rake in together with the rope. Several times, in fact. So I'm just going to have a look. Just speaking to another gentleman, does a bit of fishing and a bit of jet skiing as well. So I'm just trying to get a bait. I don't need to go far because the fish will come in if you put the bait out. But it's not particularly deep apparently. I can still see the bottom here with polarising glasses. And weed wise, quite a lot of weed there. He was saying this fills up with weed, look there. So this will be a sort of a one-off session, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of mud there. I've got to feel how far that mud goes down. There's the drop off. Oh, there's a ton of mud. Right, so I'm on the limit there. And we just chuck this out. Oh, there's so much mud. I'm amazed. Just see how far this goes out. It looked about, by the sinking of the rake, 5 feet, 4 feet. It's not very deep. I imagine I'm going to get plenty of weed here. Yeah, I can tell by the bubbles coming up. You people might be able to see that. The main thing is to give it a good stir up. I think that's not much over the length of that rake, in fact. I'm going to call it 4 feet, but there's a hell of a lot of mud, so there should be tench in there. Put it nice and slow. Double-headed rake would be better. It all helps, and we've actually, years ago, would do this regularly, tench fishing. And just stirring it up, even without putting bait in, can bring fish in. Well, people, there is an awful lot of weed in there. And the guy I just spoke to said it gets choked in the summer, so I might be wasting my time, but I'm only going to give it a go. Has to be tried. Even if only to get rid of stuff like this out the swim, which I don't want to hit one decent fish and lose it in all this. Right, let's get the bait going. So ground bait, I got hemp, just regular Bailey's feed in there, a little bit of bran. I got some sweet corn, which is a good old standby cheapo sweet corn. I'm going to put that in second so it lays on top of the ground bait, because I've stirred all that up. And I've got some of this sticky syrup. I like the smell of it. I think it's coconut, I don't know. Somebody told me it's coconut. Let's whack it in there. I rather hope it's coconut. Give it a good mix up. There's something about that cell pellet, definitely. I don't mind using the small ones either. I'm going to mix this fairly sloppy because I don't want it sinking into that soft mud when it's breaking up and making a sort of carpet. So bear with me, we'll get this out. Dinner is served. Nearly. So, bring that down. I keep it nice and loose and sloppy because I want it sinking, breaking up and sinking. I want it spread over a wide area, and then a relatively wide area, and then on the next baiting session I'll bring that down, and then when I go fishing I'll bring it to a confined area, 3 feet, something like that, trying to get the fish. Don't forget, no one's probably fished here for years. You've got to get the fish in on the feed. Let's get a little bit more out there. What I'm also going to do, I've been caught before, baiting up and then you come down, someone's seen you and they're in a swim. I'm going to put some in the other lake as well, because this wind gets up in my face. I can always move over there, but I'm not raking that, that's too deep. It's worth throwing three balls of ground bait in there. That'll do. Just remember what line you come on and don't get in there too far. I'm going to go in a little bit closer with these. 2. That's it. And the other ball I'll find somewhere over there on the big lake and try and see if there's anywhere worth dropping a bit of bait in. Then over the top, whiz a bit of sweet corn. By now hopefully that's settled. If I throw in with the ground bait, I'll go in the mud too much, I feel. This way I've got a little bit of visual. It might still float some of this because it's still partly frozen. I'm fancying down here for a roach. You can see I'm just chucking a bit around here. Oh, nearly go. And then I'm going to chuck some way over like this. And that, hopefully any fish coming with that will start working their way in towards this area. That's my theories, some of which work and some don't. That's the first session, so I'll save this for the other lake as well. The thing is, a lake like this is not fish. All the places look good, doesn't it? You know, they all look good. That's what keeps you coming, isn't it? Fishing is, you're always looking for the honey pot. Around this tree, for instance. Just there. I'm tempted to throw a handful of corn in anyway. You never know. So up over the hill here is a section of the main lake. And I think I might just put a bit of bait in there as well. There's no sort of designated swimmers, one there on the left. What a setting. 15-20 minutes from home. It's all growing up here now though. And I dare say there'd be a lot of weed in this one. Lots of weed. Yeah, I can see through the water it's a lot clearer. So I'm just going to put a few balls of ground bait in and see what comes. Very often the swan's going to, oh, he's going to find it, he's looking at me. Okay, let's pass on that. And I'll keep that for the next session. This is another section of lake over here. It's really a float fishing one, this one. Depending on which way the wind's blowing. But this is obviously a fishing one because clear down there, sawn off. Not so much weed here. I think I'm going to put some bait in and just come back and see if there's any bubble in there in a few days. I just have a ducks come here, that's the only thing. Let's have a look in this one. I thought for a minute that was fish laying over there, but it's weed on the surface. Yes, I think I'll chuck a bit of that bait in here. Benefit being, I've got two swims. If somebody's in that swim, I can come here. Now, this is a hard bottom here at the moment. Well, I don't see any weed here at all, actually. Notice how I've come out without my wading staff, but I can actually, because it's clear, see the bottom here. This gives you an idea. Go as deep as I want. There's a drop just there. I think this might. And look up there. What a view that is. Trouble is that's facing southwesterly. The wind would come up there, this way. Right. Let's throw some of this and spray it around. Obviously I'm a lot farther out now. Now I'm concentrating them in no particular area, as you've obviously gathered. Spraying them all around. And then I'll fish some in here. And the main area will be about there. Nice, sloppy, breaking up on impact type of mix. I line up where I'll be casting. I'll cast him to the V. Can you see the V in the two trees there? There. A little bit shorter and shorter and shorter. Now I can't help but do this, people. I've absolutely got to put some balls of ground bait down here. So many times I've seen fish coming in close. And this place is an unknown quantity. You can still see that colour in the water. Look, I don't know, I could blank, couldn't I? Of course I could blank, probably will. golden grains of corn. Well, I can do no more, guys, until I come down with a rod and see what we can catch. Whew. Getting a bit old for all this stuff at work, but very often you can get a payback, especially for tench. Look, anywhere that's got these swan mussels means good quality water, and generally, when I was a kid, good tench fishing. Oyster catcher, pied wagtail. Goodness me. He's died and gone to heaven, eh? Well, with fish, yeah. Time for tea and cakes. Well, I've had my tea and cakes, and the fish have had theirs as well. But will all that work pay dividends? I certainly hope so. I'm off now to save a tree. Well, it started pretty much last year on what I think is this black cherry. It's always had this blistered open wound there, and I found it full of ants last year, and I thought I'm going to pack some clay in there, but you can see it's all been powdered up again, and I feel it's the ants might be doing this. But look, because I gave it another chance, people said cut it down, it's dead as a door now. It's not dead as a door now, and this is proof of it. Look, it has actually flowered. I feel from last year I've saved it. Now then, it's not as prolific as it was, there's no question of that. It might be getting towards the end of its time. Here's a new one I had planted that Mike had down in Yeovil. He had a pair of these that he bought, and when he sold the place, I said, let's not waste those, they've been paid for. But it has got a dead branch here, which I'm kind of surprised about there. It's right next to the pond, you can see. But that's a new one. Oh God, the algae's come and see it. What I'm trying to do is make a sort of clay poultice here, and the clay here you can see is a sort of orangey colour. The dark is just plain earth. So I want there's you can see the difference between the two colours. I want that orangey stuff. It's a lovely clay. Our whole property is on the whole hillside is clay. So I've broken a few chunks up there, and we've used these for wattle and daub on one of our Saxon houses. Several, I think we've done three Saxon house builds. Going to break it up, and it's very hard, and I have to do this now because when this clay goes hard, well, they make bricks out of it, let's face it, it will be almost impossible to work with. But it's like putty. Anybody, and I've worked with putty, it's got linseed oil in it, you have to keep working it, it's really, really tough on your fingers. So break it down, a little bit of water, not too much, but I mean it doesn't actually absorb water. And here you can see what I'm doing. I'm pushing it. I don't know what I'm doing. Of course I don't know what I'm doing, but all I know is what I did last year resulted in the tree not dying, although people said cut it down, it's dead. And I said, no, I'm going to try and save it. I'm doing a bit of hospital work here. As you can see, I packed it all in, the clay there, feed it all up around that open area, which is actually open to the southwesterly wind there. But I just feel it's the ants. So around the base of it, don't tell me it kills a tree, people, because it doesn't, because I've done this last year, the trees come right back. It's the ants, I believe, that are doing the damage. Well, with that tree potentially safe for yet another year, I go inside for a cuppa in the kitchen, and the wife goes, look outside the window there. The deer are right outside our boundary fence. Well, got to rush for the camera for that, haven't you? So I grab the camera out the office, rush upstairs, look around and think, what is that woman drinking now, for God's sake? I can't see anything at all there. She's shouting that it's just outside the fence. Oh, I'm zooming in. What can I see? Can I see anything? No, I'm looking to the left. What's over there on the left? Oh, hang on a minute. Just to the right. There you go. And if you look carefully, although it's not sharp, you can see his eyes are shut. So he's obviously asleep. And over on the right looks like, I'm calling, a buck, because I can just see the horns there. So I now go downstairs where I can creep up a little bit closer and zoom in. And you can see, as soon as I start moving around, the ears twitch. But it's just great to see right outside. They're just sitting in the shade in that last bit of hot weather. And I can't even get out fishing. Look at that wind. Well, folks, I've actually come out for a walk with the wife. She's gone off up ahead. I come into Mike's work because I want to see the bluebells, which are just ridiculous. I don't know if you can see them behind me over here. So I'm going up because Mike has some wild garlic on his stretch. A lot of this section of the woodland doesn't have it, but Mike is very lucky because he does actually have wild garlic there. So I've been out to anybody else been there? Place, it's a cafe, it's a motorbike cafe called Loomies down at Westmeagan in Hampshire. It's a lovely drive out there. It's a really good cook up there, and it's nice to see all the motorbikes as well. Even though I don't have a motorbike, I still like seeing them. So a nice drive out. We had some good food, and well, we need to walk all those sausages, egg, bacon, hash browns, toast, beans. We're going to walk all that off now, otherwise we'll end up like Jabba the Hutt, whatever his name was in that film, Star Wars film. Wife's got a lick of pace on up there somewhere. I can't get you up. So we'll show you this wild garlic. And of course I haven't told you the story yet. The last time I came up here with Mike, we were shooting, so we bring up 3 guns, the 177 PCP, my old Spring 22 pellet guns, air rifles. I said, Mike, bring the shotgun. We'll bring some cans up. It's your own property. We'll knock some cans over. Next thing we know, police have been called. You've got to laugh, haven't you, really? Some person saw us with fully covered guns, air rifles, come on people, and a shotgun, in woods that you own, shooting on your own ground, fully licensed. But there you go. So it's on Mike's Life of Mike channel. If you haven't seen that, you're going to put it up there, not sure when. So look at these bluebells. Up here should be even better. So here's a little small patch of wild garlic. Obviously you won't be able to smell it. You guys can't smell it through the camera. And it's flowering now. But the area Mike's got, that's a little clump. There's a much bigger area than that. I must also get the trail cams put up again, because it's quite interesting seeing what creatures come around. Especially when it gets dark, when it's very quiet at dawn or dusk. God, there's a sea of bluebells here. Hopefully you guys are getting all this. This is Mike's section. It's an interesting tree. I've never noticed that before, and I've been up here loads of times. Surely there's a creature in there. Look at that. Have a good old look in there, see what's in there. Well, if I was a creature, surely that is a brilliant tree to hide in there. What a cave. There we go, you can see Mike has an absolute field of wild garlic here. line between the two, isn't it? You know, blue and the white.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
One thing we got to do is build the outside boundary fence a little bit more, but what a view there is there, right across the hills. That's more towards, I would guess, the southeast, so a bit cool. But it's superb to see the bluebells. I was supposed to go up with the wife and tidy all this up and, you know, just weave it in a little bit more and clear up all the blowdowns and winter storms and stuff. But you get sidetracked with colours like that, don't you? You know, look at that. Beautiful colours there. So the bluebells, I thought, were very dark in colour this year. Does anybody know, bluebell experts out there, is it because we've had so much water? And of course, you can see the garlic there. Beautiful colour to it. And it's actually a stronger smell when the leaves are there but no flower. So earlier on. But something I did find when I was scouting around there. Here's another blowdown we got. It's probably ash dieback. It's died back. I'm looking for creatures and stuff there. So this is an ash tree. So presumably the ash dieback's got it. It's crashed over. It's been down there for years. And it's got on it what we call, I think they call them King Alfred's cakes, which is something like Davinia concentrica or something. But if they're really hard to come off, then apparently Mike tells me they're not so good. But these were used as a fire starting compound. Because if you get them dry when they're rotting, like that one started to dry, as look, comes off easily in my hand. Now if you dry that and you have a flint and steel, you can actually get a spark sometimes, you know, to take on these. But that one's on the wood itself. So I'm going to try and dry some of these out. Mike's done it all before in his bushcraft show on TA Outdoors, so you can always go across there and have a look. There is the said ash tree, which, you know, people saw ash down and go, oh, it's ash dieback, and then they sell them all for planks, you know, but I like to leave the tree up there myself. Mike's the same, you know, if it comes down like this one, we can use the timber. It's on the deck, but we don't like cutting anything down if we can help it. And there we go. These are the ones I collected on that, but previously, about 3 months earlier, I collected some more. But if you'll notice between the two, this is what Mike said, you want the really dark, sort of black looking ones there. So if you look at the ones on the left, they're slightly black, aren't they? And the ones on the right, I don't know what they are. Is it a purple? But look, very black and very light because they're drying. They're drying out in the greenhouse. Now, I don't know whether they have to, I'm going to call it, lose their spores and dry back naturally. It may be a year, 2 years, I don't know. And these only grow allegedly, I'm told, on ash that's, you know, dead. Or can I dry them, in other words, speed dry them in the greenhouse? Only time will tell. We will go to one of the shows or in a Mike's garden or up the woods and see if we can get one of these to light. But I'm doing my best to dry them out. There we are, King Alfred's cakes. Well, I haven't had a chance to cast a spark on those King Alfred cakes yet, but I'm sure they'll start, especially with a little bit of Barbie fluid. Anyway, I had a gut feeling to visit a lake, Eversley Lake, which I hadn't fished for at least a year, a few hours in the afternoon, pike fishing in a boat. I mean, it's got to be worth a shot. Here's a teaser of the film, and wait for this, I'm now working on films for 2025. 2024 is full. I just got one trolling. I'm trolling back upwind. I put the spinnerbait out the back, had one bang, and then I did a few jigs, and I've got another fish. I don't get many trolling, I have to say, like this. You might kick off, I'm sure I'll lose one in a minute. Feels a little bit bigger fish, this one. Be nice to get a big perch out, I must admit. Let's have a look at you. It feels a bigger fish altogether. Come on, babe. Oh dear, dear. Just want to see it. You know what it's like. This is a good fish. This is a good fish. Oh dear. What have we got? Let's hope that hook stays there. Oh Yes, please. What? Yes, please, ladies. Clear the decks. Get the baby cradle for the babies to be happy with a wet mat. But it's only got one single I don't like. Oh, that's a good fish, isn't it? Hey, that's a good fish. That is a goodie. Get in. Oh, you're not going to go in. Holy crap, that might be the biggest one I've caught in here. Oh, just nicking there. Just nicked. He's sure to go crazy. But we're trying. Oh, what? That'll do nicely, ladies. What do you think? That's a double figure fish easily. If he kicks with his tail, he's going to slap me in the face. What a bit of lure fishing. Let's get him back. Always hard filming on your own. Away it goes. Result. Well, that was certainly one of the best hunches I've had for a while. Good action, short notice, spinnerbait, boom. But not all went well when I came back. Had a job to do. I was in one of the spare bedrooms. Spare bedroom's got spare bathroom. Wifey's on my case because I'd been fishing, so I'm going to do a job, aren't I? She said that jacuzzi needs not plunging, but cleaning generally, because not many people had used it, mainly my daughter, a few friends that stayed. So I filled it up with all the chemicals and I went off to have my lunch. Well, you might wonder why I've got a dustpan and brush. Well, in one of the rooms here, I'm trying to salvage geraniums from last year to save me buying new ones, and I appear to have saved them. And then I said, when was that jacuzzi in the spare bedroom last used? As you can see, it's the grandkids' place. So I got the right chemicals. I put them in the bath, in the jacuzzi, switched the pump on. Here's Jack's the dog. Went and had lunch and forgot. Oh dear. There, oh dear. It's gone up the wall, over the bath, all down the bath panel. That is a jacuzzi to die for. That is just ridiculous. So, I can't see the point of mopping it up, so I'm figuring I could just shovel them up. I don't know. That's it. What a mess. I mean, don't ever leave the jacuzzi running with the cleaning compound in it. Willy-nilly. You're going to have, it's not going to end well, folks, is it? It's not going to end well. Now I've got to get all the damp out of there. It's everywhere, and it is a chemical. So I'm guessing I've just got to let, I've got to let the whole thing dissolve. Oh well, I'll go and finish my lunch now. And of course, the moral of the story is, do not leave taps running and clear off and do something else. Especially at my age, when you think, what was it I was doing about 20 minutes ago? Or was it 2 minutes ago? Or 5 seconds ago? Some of you older guys know what it's like. Be careful out there. Have a good time. I hope you like this little wacky section of different bits and pieces. If you do, mention in the comments. If you don't, no problem anyway. But more films to come, and might be some fish attached to them. See you next time.